you again just talk about how precedent seems to be really on your side of this one? The judge explained it.
Yeah, you know, every state athletic association has rules, and those rules are enforced, and a lot of times they end up in court. And this has been going on for decades. This is nothing terribly new to the MHSAA or any other state athletic association. And so courts analyze these sorts of things. And the courts over the years and the wealth of case law that we cited and the judge looked towards for a ruling says that there simply is not a due process constitutional right to participate in interscholastic athletics. And this court, as a inferior court to the Sixth Circuit, is bound to follow that legal precedent, and that's what she did.
Can you expand more on the MHSAA's concerns about competitive equity?
Well, like any state athletic association that does this sort of thing, one of their main goals in developing these rules and enforcing these rules is to try and maintain competitive equity among its members. That's what its members expect of the MHSAA. That's why these rules exist. Academics should take precedent in high school sports, or I'm sorry, in high school, at the high school level, not sports. And so all of these rules are really designed to maintain that kind of competitive balance, and their enforcement of these rules is aimed at achieving that goal.
But one of the main reasons was they played AAU ball together. Is that right? Or
that was the particular rule that that was the facts that ended up triggering that particular rule.
So what's the difference between Jack Ballantyne joining his AAU teammate Jermaine Jackson at Dakota last year and playing?
Yeah, I don't know the facts of that particular circumstance, but you know, every situation is different, and MHSAA evaluates every transfer situation that is brought to its attention on a case-by-case basis.
To that point, shouldn't the MHSAA make it mandatory for everyone to submit a transfer claim, because some of them go unnoticed and you don't know the facts of that case because it was never brought to your attention? In this case, it seems like, well, because it was one school to a rival school that they wanted to bring it to your attention. Shouldn't it be fair for everybody across the board?
Well, so the MHSAA, as a member-driven organization, relies heavily on the members to enforce the rules, which they agreed to do as a condition of their voluntary membership in the MHSAA. And the particular rule at issue, the athletically motivated rule, has a local component and a filter, if you will, where the local schools act as a filter or a first line of defense for determining whether the rule has been triggered. In this particular instance, Dakota High School decided through that filter, that local filter, that they were going to raise the issue with the MHSAA, and then the MHSAA became obligated to make a determination.
So it's okay if you accept one, but if you don't want to get rid of that transfer, you don't have to sign as a principal.
This particular rule is left to the local schools and local members to make a determination about whether it should be elevated to the MHSAA, and that's what happened here.
With my camera here, you empathize with this young man. You played basketball, but it's just rules are rules.
Of course, we certainly empathize with him, and we wish him the best. I'm sure he's a fine young man. I don't know him. And we wish him the best in his endeavors at Michigan State University, and look forward to watching him play for Mr. Izzo.
Is it the reason then that, I understand this is a different case, but the reason it was accepted last year at Dakota for a player to come in after AU because Mr. Fusco and Mr. Rashid have been friends for so long?
No, that has nothing to do with it.
How does you feel about the motion to dismiss now after this ruling?
But we'll see what the judge wants to do with it. She'll schedule a hearing, and they'll have a chance to respond, and then we'll probably be back in front of the judge.
And when do you think that could be?
Don't know. That's up to the judge.
So in other words, the season really could end by that time.
It's possible.
Do you feel like a 1997 rule should maybe be updated with more, with them bringing up terminology and different things like that, of the Sikh thing? Do you think that some of these rules that the MHSAA has that are maybe outdated should be updated?
It's a fair question. The MHSAA is representative council that's charged with drafting these rules, and then the members themselves adopt these rules and vote on these rules. They are thinking about these sorts of things all the time, and they do a painstaking review continuously and routinely of their rules and whether they should be updated given the times, given how athletics has evolved. And over the last 20 years, they've looked at these rules and have simply decided that the rule that was applied here deserves to stay and serves a purpose. But they'll continuously look at their rules, and there's a process in place. Schools can petition the representative council if they want to reconsider rules or to tweak rules, and those things happen routinely. And so those things will continue to happen. That's the representative council's job and responsibility.
The rules as written and enforced, so you have to take the emotion out of it, because obviously he has a lot of disappointment in that.
I'm sorry.
So when you enforce those rules, and you have to take that emotion out of it, and you just black and white rule. Yes, he played with AAU athlete. That's why he came.
Yeah, the rules are written in pretty plain language, and as the court concluded, it was a reasonable interpretation of its own rules, and the court wasn't going to interfere with that. Thank
Your
you.
name, sir?
Scott Eldridge, last name. Eldridge.
Thanks,
Your
Scott.
official title?
I'm an attorney at Miller.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.